Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. Mike Myers, the comedy genius behind Wayne's World, Austin Powers, and Shrek, is known for his sharp wit, zany characters, and larger-than-life performances. But even the funniest people have their moments of vulnerability, and in Myers' case, that came during his early years on Saturday Night Live SNL. In a recent revelation that's making waves in the comedy world, Myers opened up about how deeply affected he was when his sketches were cut from the live show, and how one well-timed joke from fellow SNL alum, Conan O'Brien, ultimately snapped him out of a downward emotional spiral. I would go into a depression in an episode of the Fly on the Wall podcast hosted by SNL veterans Dana Carvey and David Spade. Myers pulled back the curtain on his emotional experience behind the scenes at SNL, where he was a cast member from 1989 to 1995. Despite being one of the breakout stars during his tenure thanks to now iconic characters like Wayne Campbell, Dieter from Sprockets, and Linda Richman of Coffee Talk, Myers admitted that not every sketch he pitched or wrote made it to air, and when sketches got cut, I would go into a depression, Myers confessed. I would take it so personally. Like I didn't just lose a sketch, I lost a limb. To the average viewer, SNL is a live show full of laughs and spontaneity, but behind the scenes, it's a brutal, high-pressure environment. Writers and performers scramble to create sketch ideas throughout the week, only to see many of them axed during Saturday's dress rehearsal. For Myers, the stakes felt incredibly high, and the disappointment of seeing his material thrown out was devastating. A heartfelt struggle behind the humor, though known for his comedic bravado. Myers said his sensitivity about his work stemmed from his intense passion and perfectionism. Every sketch, character, and joke wasn't just material, it was an extension of himself. The sketches that got cut, I loved them so much. And then, poof, gone. It hurt every single time, Myers explained. Myers isn't alone in that sentiment. Many SNL alumni have spoken about the pressure cooker nature of the show's creative process, where even the most talented cast members can feel like they're on the chopping block every week. But for Myers, the emotional toll was particularly acute. Conan O'Brien's joke that changed everything. Enter Conan O'Brien, writer, comedian, and eventual late-night TV host. During the time Myers was struggling with cut sketches, O'Brien was working as a writer at SNL. According to Myers, it was O'Brien who delivered a perfectly timed joke that completely shifted his perspective. I was just moping around, and Conan said to me, "Mike, I always look at getting cut from SNL like getting cut from the high school basketball team when I didn't even go to that high school." That line, absurd and hilarious in the most Conan-esque way possible, was exactly what Myers needed. To hear it snapped me out of it, Myers said. It made me laugh so hard, and I realized none of this is personal. It's showbiz, it's insane, and sometimes you just have to laugh at how ridiculous it all is. From that moment forward, Myers began to process cut sketches not as failures but as part of the game, part of the chaotic, brilliant circus that is Saturday Night Live. A career that nearly didn't happen. Looking back, it's hard to imagine a world where Mike Myers didn't become the comedic icon he is today. But had he let that early depression take over, audiences might never have gotten to experience his unique brand of humor. His vulnerability during those SNL years shaped not only his resilience but also his ability to find comedy in pain, something evident in so many of his most enduring characters. Take Wayne Campbell, for example, a character born from Myers' early days on Canadian TV. The metalhead slacker became a cultural phenomenon. But Myers recalls how the first Wayne's World sketch almost didn't make it on air. It was weird, it was niche, and I didn't think people would get it, Myers said. But once it aired, the audience just went nuts. And I realized, sometimes you just have to trust your gut and hope it finds the right moment. That moment turned into 2 blockbuster films and a catchphrase party on that still echoes through pop culture decades later. From SNL to global fame. After his time on SNL, Myers went on to become a household name with films like Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, which launched a franchise and added yet another set of quotable characters to his resume. Then came Shrek, where Myers' Scottish-accented ogre helped define animated storytelling for a new generation. Through all the success, though, Myers has always remained deeply introspective. He's been open about the emotional roller coaster of fame, the personal toll of losing his father, and his lifelong love of comedy as both a shield and a sword. His recent memoir-style interviews reflect a man who has grown to appreciate the process as much as the result. And a big part of that growth, Myers says, started with letting go of the sting of rejections, something Conan O'Brien inadvertently helped him do with a single absurd joke. Comedy is pain, but also perspective. Now in his 60s, Mike Myers is more reflective than ever. While he's appeared less frequently on screen in recent years, he remains a beloved figure in comedy and pop culture. He even returned to Netflix in 2022 with The Pentaverate, a bizarre, multi-character series that reminded fans of his quirky brilliance. When asked whether he still feels that pang when a project doesn't land or a joke falls flat, Myers smiles, "Of course I do. I'm human. But now, I try to hear Conan's voice in my head. You didn't even go to that high school. That joke taught me everything I needed to know."